Well, hello, marriage and family class. This is our last week, and we just wanted to say what a great time we've had getting to know many of you. Thanks for sharing your hearts on the discussion boards and in your papers and your assignments. Do you hear that loud, terrifying noise? Do you know what that is? Tell us what it is, dear.
Bugs.
Yeah, we're in Florida right now at a
State park.
it's called Eden State Park. This
Beautiful.
apparently it's the where Adam and Eve were created, but there are locusts and all kinds of crazy bugs here. But we come here every year. It's our anniversary on July 4th, and we have 31 years of marriage. So happy 31st, dear.
Thanks.
And what would you say the secret to 31 years of marriage is?
I would say two things. One, as many of you noted, the key to any good relationship is communication. So make sure that you practice those great skills of listening well, being open-minded, being willing to be wrong, to say you're sorry, to look at something from someone else's point of view, to be gracious, to take responsibility for the choices that you make, whether it's sin or errors or mistakes. A humble, gracious person who takes responsibility and is willing to have an open mind and listening ears goes a long way in having a great relationship. And I think over the time of the sanctifying of the Spirit, both Brian and I have gotten better and better at that. So we thank the Lord for that. And I would also say then in your relationship with one another, if you're going into ministry, to remain to how important it is that your relationship with one another is the priority, so that ministry doesn't kind of just take all your time away. That it's important that your marriage is something that honors God and that you work on consistently. So I would say that, and those aren't anything really, wow, never heard that before. But it is something that we would reinforce with you, that with the power of the Spirit, it is able to live a gracious, humble life, taking responsibility, holding people accountable, your children, yourselves, and being open-minded along the way for the Spirit to work and to talk well with one another.
Very good.
What do you think?
I guess I would say after 31 years, here's what I've learned, that the things that you think are just so important when you're first married, 31 years later, you look back and you go, why did we get so upset about this little thing?
Right.
Life kind of puts things in perspective, and I think the sooner you can have an eternal perspective, a gracious perspective, a forgiving perspective, the easier marriage is going to get. Yeah. Especially with that first child, you're going to want to do like everything right, and you're going to have all kinds of tension, and by the third or fourth one, it's like, hey, we've got this. And life is like that.
I think so too. Yeah, and I think one of the things that we're so afraid to fail, or we're so afraid to disappoint others or ourselves, and what happens if it's not perfect, or if whatever in your mind is important to be good enough, whatever those benchmarks are, learn to let go of those. This is a very imperfect life. You're not perfect. No one around it is. And so there's a difference between pursuing excellence and if you tend to be a perfectionist, I'd really encourage you to let that go. And to live with grace.
Really work on that.
Really work on not being perfect. Perfectly get perfect at not being perfect.
Right.
Right. And just letting those expectations go. You kind of enjoy the ups and downs of life and the roller coaster. And the more you can do that, and not to get yourself all in a tizzy or anxious and stressed out, the more you will enjoy this life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And God's got you the whole way. So we wish for you just a great ministry, and I hope you will be as happy if you are married in 31 years as we are.
And celebrate your anniversaries.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right now. See, this is our final illustration for you. Now we're going to go sit on some rocking chairs and be old people. All right. God bless.
All
It's
right.
been a
Love
great
you guys.
semester.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.